What's going on, guys? Welcome on back to Second and Short End. We're going to continue on our new edition series. This time we're talking about cornerback Patrick Peterson, who is leaving the Arizona Cardinals after such a long time with them, going over to the Minnesota Vikings, a team that is in much dire need for some defensive help. I mean, they've been shopping and they've been buying everybody over the offseason defensively to try and help this team out. Patrick Peterson, though, is a guy that is going into his 11th season. He's now a veteran that can contribute in that aspect and help out younger guys and maybe lead and anchor this cornerback room and group for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, if you've lived under a rock your whole life and you're just getting into football, let's talk about his background. In that historic 2011 draft class, Patrick Peterson was drafted 5th overall. There were so many guys that did so well in their first 3 or 4 years from that draft class that it makes sense that he would have been another anchor of there, where people were saying maybe he should have been drafted in the first 4 picks. That's how good he was coming out. As a rookie, he was selected to the Pro Bowl, and he got first team All-Pro status as a punt returner. Now, he has been a guy that has been an anchor for the Cardinals for the longest time. Actually, after making the Pro Bowl his rookie year, he did so 7 consecutive years after that, being the first player to start off his career with 8 consecutive Pro Bowl appearances. He also added All-Pro status in 2013 and 15 as a cornerback. Patrick Peterson has always been one of those guys that can be a lockdown guy, shut down for you. Now, time is not, it gets us all, and it's been hitting him past couple of years. And his play has kind of went down since 2019, but he's still a guy that can make an immediate impact on your roster. Patrick Peterson also took advantage of being a free agent that was going from one team to another, so he could change his jersey, and he switched it up, going from 21 to 7. Which was his high school and college number. The contract is a 1-year deal. It gives the Minnesota Vikings leverage on what they do going forward, but it also allows Patrick Peterson to potentially ball out and make more money next year as he's getting older. Now, this deal at first, initially, I kind of thought it too. A lot of other people thought it, but it was more so like the Minnesota Vikings overpaid for this because Patrick Peterson has allowed over 100 passer rate in the past 2 seasons, as I've kind of touched on earlier, that he's kind of been declining since 2019. However, Minnesota Vikings were so bad the past the past year or two, that it made sense for them to try and go get an impact player. Now, just how bad were the Minnesota Vikings last year even? They were 20th in completion percentage allowed. They were 25th in yards allowed. They were like 24th in touchdowns allowed. On top of that, they were 28th in sacks on the season, which is because their guys in coverage can't allow the defensive line to get those coverage sacks that we see happen on so many other teams that have, elite defensive backfields. The Minnesota Vikings were like, a person leaving college, leaving their dorm, and just buying all brand new furniture to, furnish their new house, to kind of get it all set up and ready. And instead of taking any of those old things that they had the year before, they went and got a bunch of new defensive players in the line, linebacking core, this defensive backfield. And Patrick Peterson is one of those guys that is going to pair with Harrison Smith and be that veteran leadership that these younger guys need. Now, how is he going to fit in this scheme? Like, he's no longer the guy that can just like lock down the left side, I got it, or lock down the right side. Whatever he's doing, I got this guy no matter what. I'm going to shadow him all game. He's no longer that guy, but he still can allow this Minnesota Vikings team to develop younger players while having a veteran out there that knows how to play. And he's a really good zone cornerback. He used to be an elite man-to-man, but he's really good in zone coverage. He's able to work with people. He's a smart guy. And I think that playing with a better unit potentially is what's going to happen. If he's healthy, he's going to be a guy that's going to look better than he has the past 2 years. He's not going to be an all-pro by any means, but the Minnesota Vikings don't need that right now. Now, the Vikings under Mike Zimmer, they don't tend to do a lot of shadowing anyways, which will allow Patrick Peterson to be more comfortable in just playing a side that he likes to do. He likes to man down a side. He can just take one side of the field, doesn't have to come into the slot if he doesn't need to. He can kind of stay outside. And he can kind of work on those zones out there or try and play man on the outside to whoever comes to him. Now, what is the impact for this move? I mean, realistically, a move like this should take your team, who is ranked, if you looked at these statistics that I kind of pulled up earlier, they probably average around like the 23rd or 24th pass defense in the NFL last year. And realistically, if he can just improve them from 24 to 20, in my opinion, that's a huge move. That's a huge improvement because completion percentage goes down by 2-3%. Yards allowed goes down by 200 yards this season, 300 yards. The sack rate goes up, which means that you're in longer situations, which means it's harder for teams to get first downs, which means your defense isn't on the field as long. And then the turnovers can happen as well in that situation. I really think that he can improve this defense slightly. It's not going to be a big, but that's what the other moves are for. They're trying to repackage. The Minnesota Vikings are trying to be like the Philadelphia Eagles of, don't quote me on this, it's like 2010, 2011, when they literally spent and bought everybody in free agency, it seemed. And the team didn't pan out because they had no chemistry. But these guys now that are getting brought in by Minnesota are more veteran-esque, and they're going to have that leadership and experience that is needed to improve in the short term. It's going to allow Dantzler to kind of develop a little bit longer. It's going to allow other players that they draft going forward to have some more time to develop. Long-term deal, like I said, he's going to his 11th season. He's probably only got 2-3 more seasons left in him, to be honest. But if he plays well enough and he likes the fit with Zimmer's defense, and most players like playing for Zimmer, it seems, that he can bank in with more money next year, and he can continue to be this leader for the Minnesota Vikings past 2021. And that's going to do it for us here on Second and Short with our new additions episode, talking about Minnesota Vikings' newest cornerback, Patrick Peterson. Be sure in a couple of days to check out Second and Short's Fantasy Dynasty podcast, The Cheap Seats, with my co-host Jason. And then we also have TikToks going down every single day. We got series going on there. We're talking NFL, we're talking fantasy, we're talking dynasty. We're just talking football. On Instagram, we got some new graphics going down, highlighting some players across the league. Twitter, we got some polls going on for you guys. Give us some feedback. We can kind of see what you guys want to talk about, see what you guys like, and just kind of go from there. And then on Facebook, it all ties together. Follow us there, and you can get all the news and information you need from all those sources in one place. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys on Thursday for our weekly podcast.